buddy. What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew. This is Ball Hawk Ifeatu Melifonwu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. You know, hey, my Lions Talk Live, and we've got some good things to talk about today, including our first of the season rookie report card, whatever you want to call it, grading the rookies. So on top of that, we're also going to have a guest for you guys today. Bottom of the hour, we're going to have Mike Kipp, Hutch Jr. joining you. But, you know, the Lions, one of the talks of the NFL this first week, obviously a great way to open up the season. Overtime win. You've seen a lot of people across the league, national media, etc., talking about them as a top 5 team, perhaps even a top 2 team in the NFL. And, you know, the longer you stay winning, the longer you stay relevant in this league, like any other league. So the Lions, I think they've got a pretty good favorable matchup. Tomorrow's show, yes, we will do the full breakdown. Lions versus Bucks. We'll have, for the most part, the final injury reports of the week for both teams. There are a couple for Detroit. We'll get into that in the 5 headlines now, among a couple other topics. So let's get this show going. Let's hope everybody's having a good day, and let's start this off with a couple of small tidbits. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so, making that push for 7,900 subs, and we're about, 15 or something like that away from that, 16 away from that happening. So if you got a free second of time, you're willing to do so, please hit that subscribe button. Also, if you enjoy the show and all we do here on the channel, consider hitting the thumbs up, the like button. It's free of charge, takes half second of time, and we try to get every video between 200 to 300 thumbs up or likes. Last but not least, if you're perhaps somebody who enjoys reading and considering looking for something to read, consider going to Amazon.com, eBay, or any place you can buy books really online and order yourself a copy of Kajora book, historical fiction. It is based on a lot of historical events and time frames, but the characters within it are not real. So go ahead and check it out. Maybe even leave a rating if you enjoy the read. You can find that again, Amazon.com or any place you buy online books. All right, with all those formalities out of the way, let's get ahead and get this show going and get into the first segment of the day. As you know, it is 5 headlines now. All right, 5 headlines now. Let's let them roll. Opinion: Detroit Lions should, blasphemy right here, should trade James Houston. Sports Illustrated. Opinion by John Macron. Macron, as you guys know, covers the Lions for a living, and he thinks it's time for the Detroit Lions to part ways with James Killer Crush Houston. And, I'm not sure what's going on with the Lions in Houston. I get that, yes, for whatever reason, they want somebody that, I get they want guys that are Swiss Army knives, play multiple positions. Houston, you're probably not putting him back on special teams. He does not help your linebacker core. So he is basically a pure pass rush defensive end. We all know he can get to the quarterback. Now, can he help out in other aspects? I think that's the big question still there, unless perhaps there's still some lingering injury issues with that ankle. So we'll have to wait and see. NFL Deep Dive. Lions-Rams sets new next-gen stat record. This is from a place I've never heard before, but it did pop up. Give Me Sports, story by Chance Durskalos. If I'm not murdering that name, my apologies if I am. So what this was about is in the next-gen stats, the Lions and Rams did set a new record just for the amount of motion used pre-snap in the game. And a lot of that, as you guys probably know from watching the game, was around Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp was all over the place. I want to say somebody tracked it, and he ran a total of over like 430 yards worth in the game between his routes and his pre-snap motions. So yes, it was the most by any combined two teams in the league since 2018. So yes, they were working on getting Cup open. They were trying to intentionally make sure you couldn't jam or press him at the line. The other part is they wanted to know if the Lions were in zone or man. I didn't really think that should be a problem for Matthew Stafford, a guy who's been in the NFL for, 15, 16 years or whatever it's been now. So it was effective. It did cause a lot of problems. But one thing I think we don't always understand with Sunday night's game, the Lions defense played sneakily better than I think most of us anticipate. You look at how many targets it took for Cooper Kupp to get those receptions. I want to say he had 23 targets and he did catch 14 of them. But I'm going to say if you target any NFL wide receiver 23 times, they're probably going to have 10, 14, 15 catches. And as we talked about during the game, the live cast when we're watching it, yes, Stafford did have 302 yards or something like that passing, but that's on 50 attempts. And again, if you're an NFL quarterback worth your salt at any level, I give you 50 passing attempts, you should put up some yards. So I think the Lions defense, important for the review, has done better and better the more you analyze that game. All right, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Detroit Lions. Predictions, picks, and odds from NFL Week 2 game. This is by Jordan Mendoza, USA Today. So let's pull that up real quick, and I'll give you guys basically what USA Today's predictions from all their beat reporters on this particular game. So Lorenzo Keys picks Lions to win 24-14. Tyler Diggin, 28-20 Detroit. Richard Morden, 31-20 Detroit. And then Mendoza, 26-24. So he's got as a close one, but as you guys can tell, all the way across the board, USA Today is all on board with Detroit Lions winning. And obviously that doesn't mean anything. It's just writers giving their predictions. But then if any of you guys watch the NFL's own shorts that they put out, the weekly matchups, all one of their 8-person panel also picked the Lions to win. So I think the Lions do have a favorable matchup. Though you do have to respect Tampa Bay because they do have one hellacious offense this year, at least after one game. And the defense does have a lot of good parts that can get to the quarterback and stop the run. If you do those two things, you put pressure on Detroit, you could try to get a win in Detroit. But I'm not going to reveal my prediction for tomorrow until tomorrow. But if anybody's watched my full season prediction, probably knows where I'm leaning with this particular one. All right, Detroit Lions at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. How to watch and stream. Story by Fox 2 staff. So they probably don't go through all the different ways you could stream this game, but they do go out and give quite a few different thoughts on it. I know a number of you guys during the live cast were asking, hey, can I show the game? And no, I can't. Just like any other YouTuber who doesn't want to get demonetized or get your channel shut down, I can't physically show the game. I know a lot of you asked, where do you go to watch the game? So what I would say is, maybe pull up this article, Google it, bring it up. There are some apps you can use to watch any kind of Fox Sport events. So, and they're through the Fox company, so that's why they're legal. You can do that. There are a number of websites that you can go to actually watch the game. I'm not going to list them because I'm pretty sure you guys know there are no fly zones or not really supposed to be using those websites. But if you do want to find the game to watch, I'm going to surmise that you can find a way online. All right, next to the 5 headlines now. Lions promote defensive lineman Kyle Pico, make 2 other moves. This is from NFL Trade Rumors, story by Jonathan Comeros. So, yes, Kyle Pico, like we suspected, he was going to be pushed up. He is indeed pushed up into the active roster. Chris Smith was brought back as well. Along with a couple other roster moves, they formerly signed, I forget the other kicker's name that they put on the practice squad, but all those things did happen, come to fruition. So, hey, Kyle Pico is going to be a Detroit Lion for a while, and Chris Smith is back with the team. And then this is a kind of a bonus of the 5 headlines now, so I guess today you get a 6th one, and it's not in any way, shape, or form Lions pertinent news, but Jeff Okudah, the once former Detroit Lion, injury woes continue with the Texans. Injured reserve decisions. He was put on IR. This is from Clutch Points. And I just feel bad for the guy because he is, by all accounts, a real good person, teammate, etc. The guy just can't stay healthy. And unfortunately, as we all have heard before, your best ability is your availability. And Jeff Okudah has not been available throughout his career. So All right, moving on from all that, and let's go ahead and get over to, we're not going to do any NFC news and notes today. Let's go ahead and get over to the main topic of the day. If I can get this thing to pop up here. Oh, boy. All right, we got some technical glitches and stuff there, so apologies for that. But main topic of the day, we got a couple different ones here. Let's give real quick a injury update from yesterday. Most of you probably know I didn't really want to go on air with it. I didn't think anything was that egregious. But Penei Sewell was held out of practice yesterday, along with a number of other Lions. Marcus Davenport was also out. Jameson Williams was limited, etc. Kirby Joseph was in practice, then left practice. So let's start off at the top. Penei Sewell was held out. Most of you probably, anybody who watched the game Sunday was aware he had one of his ankles rolled up on and apparently pretty good. They kept him out yesterday's practice for just precautionary reasons. Let it rest, let it heal. From all accounts, including Sewell himself, he'll be good come today. He'll be out on the field. Mark's standpoint apparently pulled a juju muscle, so a groin muscle. The severity of it, that I don't know. I can't comment on. They did not give that kind of information. But Marcus Davenport, everybody I think across the league gets, this guy's got some ability. He's got some strengths. He can get to the quarterback. But in the last 2 seasons prior to coming to Detroit, he just can't stay healthy enough to really take advantage of that a ton. So hopefully this is not a significant injury to Marcus Davenport, because I thought he played pretty dang well, in my opinion, Sunday. And yes, you can come out and say, well, all the Lions players had pretty good win rates, but look who they were going against, a lot of backups for the Rams. That may end up being true. All I can say is Sunday he looked pretty good. Hopefully it's nothing burger with him in the groin injury, but at least yesterday he did miss some time. Now, to me, perhaps the more compelling of the stories for yesterday is that Kirby Joseph left practice. It does sound like it's a hamstring injury. The severity, I don't know. I do know he walked off the field on his own accord. He wasn't assisted or anything like that. So my anticipation is it's not that big a deal. But with him out, if potentially he's out for this weekend, and if he's not able to go, you're really going to test that the depth there at the free safety spot. What the Detroit Lions would do in that situation, boy, I'm going to let them Scooby do that one before I hop on board with that. But it would be at least an area of an eyebrow raise for me, because you got Lawrence Strickland potentially still out. If Kirby Joseph's out, and Ife Melifonwu, well, that's 3 guys out of your safety department who are out. You're probably pulling up another person or two, which I think would also add to potentially James Houston not being available to go. So just some food for thoughts on the injury front there. Hopefully it's nothing burger. And Jameson Williams, I think I said this earlier, but not, was limited in practice. A lot of it, as you guys know, he rolled his ankle also in the game. Hopefully it's nothing big, just precautionary. Let him get a little bit of extra rest. But yeah, I'm fully anticipating he will play this weekend. So that's my opinion on that. So we'll see what shakes out with that. Now, let's get over to the Detroit Lions rookie report card. What did you guys think? And let me know in the comment section for it. But I thought, for the first weekend, I didn't have huge expectations. I'm sure, like most of us, didn't have huge expectations for the Detroit Lions rookie class coming into this year. But we did get a couple guys. I think we even struck gold a little bit on the guys. So I'm going to go through and give you my breakdown on them, etc., and go from there. Some of them are going to be a little bit incomplete because we just haven't seen anything with them yet. But let's Scooby-Doo this and go through this. I'll say, so Christian Mahogany, I'm going to just say incomplete, because really nobody's seen anything with this kid yet. We're just going to table him right now. But let's now start with one of the guys who did play this weekend, and in my opinion, continues to show reasons why you got to believe this rookie class has some real promise, and that's Mekhi Wingo. He didn't get a ton of snaps. I want to say it was like 6, but his win rate on each of those snaps, that's impressive. He won all but 1 snap against the Rams, and he did get some pressure. He didn't get a sack, but he did get to the quarterback, and again, when left in one-on-ones pass rush situations, this kid has done everything that we heard he would do in rookie camp, preseason, etc. He got out there, he showed up, and he got to the quarterback. I really do think there is a lot of reason to believe Mekhi Wingo by the end of the season will be a contributor on that defensive line and a real diamond in the rough. another layer of credit to the scouting department and coaching staff. I think he's the real deal, and I think he's, by year 3, we're going to all be talking about this kid's got the it factor. He's, man, he'll be lauded just like the Detroit Lions for finding a diamond in the rough that everybody else missed on multiple times. And when's the last time you could say, basically, you have expectations when Brad Holmes, the scouting department, go to the NFL draft, they are going to find somebody in the mid to later rounds, and that guy's just going to be a win for the team. Prior to this regime, I don't think any Lions fan had that kind of expectation. Now, it'd almost be surprising if we didn't find somebody that fits his build in the later rounds, etc. All right, Sion Vaki did get on the field and then didn't really have a lot of production, but the fact that he was out there and in even some critical moments, I think it speaks highly about him. You watch some of his routes, you watch some of his blocking, which, to be fair, I watched him in college at least, once a year or so. I didn't think his blocking was that great in college. Going back and watching the coaching film, et cetera, with him, I thought he did a pretty good job. And again, there's stuff to clean up for sure, but we all saw in the preseason, this guy could jump cut and do all sorts of stuff. He's got live legs, I think is what you would say in the industry. And he further corroborated this kid's the real deal and going to be a contributing factor for this franchise for a long time. Let this sink in. And I'm going to ask you guys. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments section. But with Detroit's top 3 running backs, Vaki, Montgomery, Gibbs, do you think there's really any reason why you wouldn't want one of these 3 guys to have the ball in their hands? And I get Montgomery had a monster overtime game. Gibbs, wasn't probably his greatest game ever as a Detroit Lion, but it wasn't bad by any stretch. And now you add this kid in with him. I think that running back room is going to be pretty good for a few years to go. Giovanni Manu wasn't active for the game, so we can only judge on what we saw during the preseason and his growth during OTAs, training camp, etc. But this kid has superseded already this season my expectations for him. I would love to hear your guys' expectations or thoughts on him. I think 2 years from now, I'm not going to say anything for this year. I think he's already grown a ton. I think he's going to continue that growth trend. It is possible maybe by the end of the year or middle of the year, you have him in on certain packages if needed. The Lions do have some real good depth on the offensive line, so I would temper those expectations. But it is possible later in the year you could get him in and just, maybe some goal line situations or something like that. Just let him use his raw physical talents to your advantage. I do think by year 3, though, he has the potential to be, maybe I shouldn't say a starter on this team, but he's got the opportunity to be in the conversation for that at least. I think his development and everything Frank Haley's doing with him currently, plus over that time frame, going to be the real deal. Rakestraw did get in limited, but they're not really on the field. I think, we all know he made the one gaffe on the punt where, he could have just touched the ball down at the 1 or 2 yard line, whatever it was. But what I do like out of that, and, hey, rookie mistake, he'll get past that, not a problem. See the speed on that guy. And I don't know who it was, but somebody actually taped him when he's gunning. Remember how we all talked about he had the pull groin muscle at the scouting combine? Maybe that's why he was a little bit slower. Not that I would ever complain about having a 4.5 flat 40-yard dash speed. But if you go and watch him on the gun, and that's even with him shedding a blocker, he comes in at under 4.4. So, yes, that groin injury probably did weigh him down a little bit or hold him back. What do you want to slow him down? Maybe I should just say. So I think there's real expectations when this guy gets his feet wet in the league. Maybe it won't be this year. Maybe it'll be next year. But he and Arnold might be the future cornerbacks for this room, or for this team, I should say. Lockdown guys. And I think his speed is vastly superior than what most people are anticipating. Preseason games, we all get it. You watched them. Yes, it's preseason. It's not the regular season. But I thought he was sneaky good and in run support far better than I would have anticipated. He may have to take it a little bit easy with his body because he is not the biggest guy by any stretch of imagination, but he throws that body around. He lays the lumber on people. He gets after them. And again, he can stick to receivers. I won't say he's as good in that department as Terry Arnold, but I think you're kind of splitting hairs, being really nitpicky between the two because both of them are very, very good in that regard. Terry and Arnold, obviously, he played a ton, and I think we were talking about it during the game. If you watch the live cast, I thought the fact that they left him in single coverage, man to man, with to me, here was the key, especially when you watch the film backed out in the coaching film. When you watch that and the fact they're not sending a safety to help protect over the top with Terry Arnold, to me, that's a huge sign from the coaching staff and Aaron Glenn. They already have that kind of trust in this kid. And yes, the day after, or maybe it was after the game, whatever it was, Cooper Kupp comes out and says, this kid's got it. He's that good, or I don't remember the exact quote, but I think you guys all get it. He's that good already. What's he going to be halfway through the season, or should we make the playoffs? What's he going to be by then? I think he could be one of the better cornerbacks Detroit's had. And I'm not going to say he's the best ever, but he's got the potential to be up there in that rare air, maybe, like an upper echelon one. I'm not going to put him over anyone else yet. It's one game. I'm not going to overreact. But you watch his hips. You watch his elbows. You watch how he gets in and out of routes. Cooper Kupp, who's a future Hall of Famer, you can see he doesn't get significant separation from him. And that's even with all the pre-snap motion they're doing. There's Cooper Kupp doesn't pull away from him the few times they try to do deep shots. So he's already sticking with one of the better receivers in the NFL on the deep patterns. Yes, with the motion, pre-snap motion, etc., he's able to get shots into the flats and etc. on the out routes. But look at all the 5, the 3, the 4, and there were a couple 6-yard dink and dunks. It's hard for any NFL cornerback to stop those routes just because unless you're just not a great NFL wide receiver, it's hard to get that separation. I thought Arnold did a great job keeping with the guy, and really, for where he's at, game 1 of his NFL career, what do the coaching staffs, again, tell us by not putting a safety over the top him over and over and over to help protect him? I think that's the future's pretty bright for this kid. All right, that's what I have to say on these things, the rookie report card, etc. I see the Do Crew are blowing up the comments section, so let's go ahead and get over to them. We've got about 8-10 minutes until we've got our special guest of the day, so let's get over to it and see what you guys have to say as I try to scroll to the top here. All right, Michael, greetings and salutations, and Dude Crew, exclamation points, Superdome, Super Bowl, what pride, woo, woo, and good morning to you too, my friend. Hopefully you're having a great morning. Robert, greetings and salutations, Coach and Crew, same to you. Moonscar, good morning, Dude Crew, exclamation point, see the dude, drink the dude, be the dude. There we go, be the dude. Bo, good morning, Dude Crew, woo, woo. All right, we'll go with that. Robert, this team will get stronger as the year goes on. Rookies will mature fast. Let's go, Lions. I agree, especially, like I said, watching what we've watched so far, analyzing the tape, and there will be more and more tape as time goes on. I think you've got some real strong upside with this group. I think it's going to be a lot of promise for this team. All right, Jason, greetings, salutations to the Lions Talk Live faithful. We really have a lot of meaningful games this year. Last year's playoff teams, improved division rivals. This is a special year, Superdome or bust. I would agree, man. There are no off weeks. There are no tomorrows. It's all about this year, this team, the game right in front of you. Don't overlook anybody. See, Moonscar, week 2 on the journey to the Superdome. I concur with that assessment. Papa Noel, good morning, all. Back at you. Robert, I hope Sewell stays healthy this year. Me too, man. And I think they kept him out yesterday just to give a little extra rest, precautionary stuff. Quentin, greetings and salutations, y'all. It's time to pluck the Bucks and get our boys to 2-0 in the year. I agree, man. Get to 2-0, man. You can't erase wins. You can erase losses. Let's see, Robert. Tampa will not be a pushover, but we will handle them well. Yeah, I agree with you. I think they got some real abilities, and I wouldn't overlook anybody on the schedule, let alone the Bucks. They can bite you. Voltron, good morning, all. Overall, I think the rookie class has done more than I would have guessed prior to the draft. Holmes is a draft king. Yeah, I mean, they do well in the draft. The fact that they get some of these guys in the mid to late rounds and they're already contributing week 1 of the NFL season, that's a big plus. Jason, playoff atmosphere, again, bring it. Yeah, it's going to be loud in there, especially if the game stays closer and closer. I think it's going to get real loud in there. Brent, good morning, Coach and Crew. Our danger zone defense will hold the Bucks and grab at least 2 interceptions, says Brent. Oh, yeah, and you might be right, man. I mean, you guys, you've heard my take on it. And I know, I can't remember who it was in the comment section yesterday, at least once the video posted. Here's my thoughts on Aaron Glenn's defense. And I know I mentioned it yesterday. I don't think he's trying to hold teams to under X amount of yards or anything. I think he's trying to go for X amount of turnovers. And he saw the Lions take some gambles on it. Yes, they didn't get them all Sunday. But there was, I think, 5 or 6 turnover-worthy plays. They have the opportunities. They just got to take advantage of it. They start doing that even at a 50% rate. Now you start getting 1, 2, 3, 4, turnovers a game. You change the course of the game in a big hurry. Robert, our depth should help us throughout and the year and keep us in control of our destiny. I agree. Yeah, we're in control of our own destiny at this point. Now, just don't lose control. See, Jason, all eyes on JMO. He has raised his game and our expectations from. Yeah, hard to believe that some people thought he was, maybe a bust. I think those people might be changing their opinions after week 1, but got to keep doing it. Doesn't matter what you did last week. What are you going to do this week? Hatman, good morning, Dan and the Dude Crew Maniacs. And good morning to you too, Hatman. Matthew, green citations. Good morning, everyone. Superdome, Super Bowl. Sheila likes a woo in her fresh morning dew. And you know what? You ask, you shall receive, my friend. All right, let's see, Dave. Let's go, Duke Crew. Can't wait for Sunday afternoon. Anyone going to the game? I will not be able to go to the game, unfortunately, this week. So some others I know are going, but I don't know who is or is not going. Jason Hetman, coffee, question mark. Bo, together we will rule the league, exclamation point. It is our destiny. I concur. Robert, we are so deep on our offense. Who are you going to guard? Yeah, that's a good question. You can't take them all away. I agree, says Robert. Sosimo, good morning, all. Good morning to you, too. Hookadoo, good morning, Dan, the man coach with the most, exclamation point, and the Duke Crew family. I watched the week 1 game again this morning. Spray a little DW40 on the rust, and we got this. One pride, Detroit. Yeah, I think you're right. Shake off some of that rust. Get a little bit more further into things. Keep guys healthy. This offense could be explosive, as we all know. See, Mike the Marine Gunny. Howdy, Dan and the Duke Crew. Woo! And good morning to you, too, Gunny. Bo, trust your feelings, crew. Yes, very, very, very Jedi of you. Clark Vaki might have some of the best hair in the league. I concur. I think he's waiting for contracts to come in for endorsement deals. Robert, can't wait to play the Bears. Hey, we got a couple months, but yes, we'll be here with that before you know it. Hey, man, Jason Berry just got the coffee started, and oh yeah, Eddie. Upon further review, I think our pass rush was much better than I thought. We seemed to get to Stafford often. We did. And, again, not to blade it, we've all talked about it. You've heard it on 40 other different channels, I'm sure. The biggest problem for the Lions defense was just how fast Stafford got rid of the ball. That's a credit to him, credit to McVay, credit to Kupp, credit to the offensive play design. So they did a good job. They knew they couldn't block us for long, so they had to get the ball out. All right, Robert, I'm on our second cup. We'll enjoy it, my friend. It is woo-tacular. There you go, Robert. Let's see, Stephanie, good morning, boys, exclamation point. Coach Dan, I have a question. Are the Lions messing Houston up like they did his rookie year when they cut him, question mark, they sat him until injuries forced him on the field? I mean, you guys all know my thoughts on him. I think he is a game-changing player. He is a playmaker. Doesn't matter what I think, though. It matters what your coaches want out of you. For whatever reason, and I'm sure it's multi-layered, the Detroit Lions coaching staff just doesn't feel comfortable rolling him out there on a regular basis. So the reasons for that, I don't know, man. Brent T. Arnold now has a real game under his belt, and he knows what the refs will not let him get away with. He's going to be fine. Yeah, give him time. He's going to make tons of rookie mistakes. Him, Rakestraw, all of them are going to make rookie mistakes. That's part of being a rookie. But with every game, you acquire more experience, more confidence, you have more familiarity with the league. Yeah, he's got upside. Hatman, nothing like a fresh cup of woo coffee. It's the best part of waking up. Robert Yankee, I concur, and Robert concurs. Let's see, Jesse Green, citations, Duke Crew. I think our defense has a lot of chance to get to Mayfield a lot this game. Have to stop the Bucs ground game first. Yeah, the Bucs are going to try to set up a lot of play action passing. We get that. They're going to try to establish a run, balance the offense. That's one thing that really hurt the Rams, I thought, is there was zero balance to that offense. But when you can get rid of the ball that fast and you've got some good weapons on offense, it helps alleviate that. But it did mean that Stafford, even though he did get rid of the ball out, he was taking shots. Jason, quarterbacks going after Arnold might result in a few picks for him. He's up to the task. I agree. And that's why I also thought at the start of the year he would get some interceptions, because people are going to test him out because of his rookie status. Tori, yes, the more they go after Arnold, the more opportunities he has. Correct. Robert, he is a humble character. He is, man, but he's definitely confident. Let's see, Trey, what's good, all, everybody? Woo! And back at you, Trey. Good to see you this morning. Dennis, good morning. Dan of the Duke Crew, same to you. See, Robert, woo! coffee is good. Well, I'm glad you enjoy it, my friend. Dale, Wingo won 5 of his 6 snaps, according to Coach Williams. Yeah, he did. I thought he did real well when you go back and watch the film. This kid's got it, man. I think he could be a defensive real win for this team for years to come. And yes, he's got some things to clean up. Every rookie does, but I like what I saw out of him. It was limited, as you point out. It's 5 or 6 snaps, but those 5 or 6, he did real well. France, good day all. What's the word on our injury front? Question mark. Sounds like the Bucs have a lot of defense along, a lot on defense along. Yeah, they do. Their secondaries in pretty good disarray right now. We'll get a more detailed analyzed report by Friday or tomorrow for sure. As far as us, I already gave my thoughts on it. We'll see what shakes out. I don't think there's anything extraordinary on our report. The only one that maybe would be a groin injury to Davenport because, man, those things stink to play with. Let's see, Dale, the rookie class is looking strong. I concur. Man, I love the St. Brown podcast with Frank yesterday. Frank is such a class act. Yeah, I saw they had him. I didn't see it, but I know they were glad to have him on. Buddy, good morning, all. Good, same to you, buddy. See, Moonscar, Bo Booth, recent binge watching have we? Always in motion is the future. Correct. Man, that's some Yoda talk there. Anthony, good morning. Duke Cruz, same to you, Anthony. Hopefully it's a great day and they're not overworking you too much, my friend. See, Dale, France, today's practice report will shed light on the injury front better. Hopefully all minor injuries and the guys will be back practicing. Fingers crossed. Yeah, 100%. Hopefully everybody's back out there. No problems. My guess is they'll probably still limit J-Mo and Panay a little bit just to protect those ankles. But hopefully other than that, I don't think we have any big ones other than potentially, like I mentioned, Kirby Joseph. If that hamstring is a real issue, he could miss Sunday. The only problem with that is if he's out, and if he's out, man, you start really getting tested in that back half of the defense as far as depth. Dennis, good morning, Ant. All right. Bo, consume you it will. There you go. See, Hookadoo, Anthony, rise and shine, brother. Anthony, morning, brother, Dennis / Hookadoo. Ant-Man, this is my favorite time of the year, Lions football and the start of deer season. Woo! Well, hopefully you enjoy it, my friend. Dennis, how's everyone this morning? Doing pretty well. How about you? Dennis, Hex, yes. All right. Robert, I believe Arnold will have a pick of Branch, and we'll have 2. Okay. Well, man, if they can both get picks, that would be phenomenal. Let's see. France, Dale, yep. Just hoping we have a good report for us. Yeah, 100%. And we'll know more, but the good part is it doesn't sound like there was any significant injuries for us. You got a couple more days to rest them up. Buddy, hit that like button. Yeah, if you guys could hit the like button, the subscribe button, that'd all help out a ton. Like I said, we're trying to get whatever it was, 20 some more thumbs up or 15, whatever like or subscribes today if we can. Then we can make the march to 8,000. Who knows, man? Maybe we can get there by kickoff Sunday. Anthony Reader playing this week is going to show what our defense is capable of, even if he only plays limited snaps. Yeah, and that's the other part. I should have brought it up. Reader is going to play this week. I mean, he came out and said how excited he was when he was at the game last weekend. Just the excitement in the room, the field, the energy from the fans, all of the above. All right, Dale Baker will give us a fight. He is a MCDC player all the way. Grit personified, and L in the coming his way too. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think he's what he's gone through, and I'm sure if you guys have heard anybody over Cleveland-based sports talk radio, they're all less than happy that they let him go, and then Deshaun Watson is there. But, hey, can't go back now. Let's see. Kurt Steele, what up, though, Duke Crew? What up to you, too, Man of Steel? Anthony, good morning, Mr. Steele. Dale, Kurt, good morning, brother. All right, we're going to go ahead and bring in our special guest of the day. So without further ado, let's bring him on. Hutch Jr., how you doing today?
Good. How you guys doing?
Not too bad, man. Just waking up, morning dew, and talking a little bit with the Dew Crew. All right, so let's get after it. Let's talk about some stuff here. Lions maybe got a few injuries here. What do you think about the situation going on with Davenport? And I guess really Kirby Joseph would be the big ones.
Yeah, I think Kirby will be all right. I think maybe he just, I don't know, maybe felt some tightness and maybe just precaution. Davenport would probably be the one I'd be injured about, especially his history. Obviously, Panay came out and said that he was okay. So outside of that, that's the big one. I know Davenport had a huge game. He did some pressures for us and things like that. So we'll see. I'm just hoping it's one of those vet statuses things, where they just kind of take it easy and let him heal for a couple days, and then he's ready to go by Sunday. But not something you like to see, especially given his injury history right off the get. Week 1 he does great, and then here he is week 2 and he's already injured. So that was the big concern when we signed him, and here we are already looking at him on the injury report.
Yeah, it's probably not what anybody wants to see. Hopefully he's off it by Friday. But let's talk about Kirby Joseph. Like you said, hopefully it's a nothing burger with him. But if he is out and if he isn't able yet to return to play, what are the Lions doing in that back part of the secondary?
Yeah, it's going to be thin. I think you just, there's a reason why you moved Brian Branch back there. I think he showed first game that he is capable of playing that position. And then, Greg Joseph is there. And then, if we got Strickland. So I would like to have Kirby in game 2 just because of this Bucs passing offense. But, if you can't get him, you can't get him. I guess, he's kind of more detrimental to your team long run than short run. So obviously if it's something serious, you sit him and you just let it rock. But, our defense didn't play terrible, especially, I thought they were way better than they were last year. So I'm not too worried about the defense. Some things they got to adjust, but I think Brian Branch can hold it down. I think we saw him. I mean, he should have had 2 interceptions against Stafford last week. So, but I think we'll be all right. We'll just have to do some other coverages, maybe play some zone a little bit more or something like that. Maybe go to the little man. So.
Okay. Let's talk about James Houston, because we had a few people in the comment section bring him up. His rookie year, we all get it, and he got cut from the team. The Lions clearly didn't have a lot of belief in him. Then, just because there was so many injuries on that defensive front, he got his opportunity. When he got his opportunity, he changed the narrative on James Houston pretty quick. Do you think that there's any chance he gets traded? Do you believe he should be with his team? He should start. He should, be on the bench. What are your overall thoughts on James Houston?
Yeah, I guess that kind of brings the point to Davenport, right? If Davenport's injured, is James Houston going to get a shot, and maybe he just, takes it away? But yeah, that's a weird situation. That was a weird, healthy cut. He wasn't injured. He wasn't anything. And it was just like one of those things where Dan was like, yeah, he shows up to practice. He does great. We're just trying to figure out where we can use him. And it's like, I feel like a pass rusher of that ability, you can use him at any point of the game. But he made a good point, like where most of your injury is going to be. Is it going to be defensive back? We're already short on wide receivers, so it's just like, they got to figure out what. Yeah, but yeah, it was a weird situation. I did not expect him to be a healthy scratch. It was so weird, especially after being on that bubble cut, not knowing if he's going to make it. Then he makes it, and it was like, that's not a good. To me, that's not a good sign. I feel like I feel that it was like the Bruce Irvin thing last year. He would get home, and then we would always just, he was one of our better pass rushers in the end of last year, and he just was always a healthy scratch. And then we ended up cutting him because I think of injuries or whatever, and he ends up coming back, and someone else comes back, and we just don't use him. So, yeah, I don't know what to do with Houston anymore, man. Like I wanted him on this team. I know his potential's through the roof, but it's just like, is it because he's not getting what people thought he was? Does Dan just not see it anymore? I don't know. It's going to be a weird thing. And I think, eventually I think it's going to be a trade scenario. If they just feel like Davenport's more useful, you trade and you get you a 6th round or, a 7th round or, whatever you think you can get him.
Right. And I hope that day never comes, but at some point it might come, and especially since this is a contract year for him, they might end up ultimately, if they don't feel like they're going to be able to put him on the field or for whatever reasons, then you probably want to get something versus nothing for him. So, all right, let's move on to the offense, because the offense, we all get it across the NFL. It was one of the slower offensive week ones that the league has seen in recent years. What do you think held the Detroit Lions offense at bay? Was it the Rams defense or was it just rust?
I think it was, a combination of both. The Rams played really good. They doubled Amon-Ra really good in that game. They had him in a bracket, and it was, you could see it, and I feel like Jared Goff wanted to get him the ball. You could see it through the game. Like that was his number one, obviously through progression, and it wasn't there. So we had to look others, but it was a weird game for our offense, man. I expect, last year it was the same thing. It was 24-23, going down to the wire, things like that. So this week, I know Bucks are banged up. I still don't know, I know their Antoine Winfield's out, and then you got their, starting corner, nickel, all that stuff is injured, but I don't know if they're ruled out yet. But so we'll see this game. I expect them to maybe force feed Amon-Ra a little bit this week. But then, I mean, like you said, when Amon-Ra's not open, if J-Mo plays the way he played last week, that's kind of what we were hoping for. And then, Monty just showed you in overtime why he's one of the best running backs in the league. I mean, he absolutely destroyed the Rams on those 8 plays. So, yeah, I'm just going to say it's Russ just because a lot of those guys didn't get, a lot of playing time. And I think this week is probably when we'll start to see some, motion in that offense and get us back to that high-powered offense.
So let's talk about that. I'm assuming that the Bucks, especially since they have so many injuries in their secondary entering this weekend, they're probably going to mostly play zone. My anticipation is, much like the Rams, they're going to commit 2 defenders to Amon-Ra until the Lions consistently beat that with Jameson Williams, Laporta, or whoever else, and throw basically St. Brown open. St. Brown's out there to be the decoy to help other people out. If you're St. Brown and the Detroit Lions, are you doing anything different to try to help him beat that coverage? Or do you just tell Goff, don't worry about it, just go to the open guy?
Yeah, I think you just tell Goff, go to the open guy and just, kind of play his game. You don't want to force anything. I mean, I think we saw it last week. Goff tried to force a couple to St. Brown, and they almost, one was picked, and then one, St. Brown made a smart play and knocked it down. It would have sealed the game. Or maybe throw some different coverages in there, maybe bring Monty in and move Gibbs out wide and, kind of get these guys like, oh, man, this is a weird thing. We've never seen Gibbs out here, just trying to give, obviously there's not a linebacker in the league that can guard Amon-Ra St. Brown in the slot. So, that's the thing too. And it's one of those games, man, you knew because the Rams weren't going to get beat by Amon-Ra St. Brown. They got beat by him last year. St. Brown cooked the Bucks last year too. So maybe it's one of those, maybe those first 2 games, you're just like, hey, we'll have to go somewhere else and then we'll live with it. But even St. Brown said it, he's like, hey, you know what? I don't really care my receiving yards. I'm just here to win. We got other guys that are supposed to produce. If I don't get mine, if I'm winning by me blocking or anything like that, I'm okay with it. So it was good to see like a guy that just got paid a massive contract was like, hey, I'm okay with not getting my yards. I want this team to win. I'm a team guy. If it's J-Mo, if it's Monty, if it's Gibbs, if it's Laporta, so yeah, that was a good sign. But yeah, I expect St. Brown to do a little bit better. But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if he has kind of the same stat line as he did with the Rams.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either for the first few games, especially until you really start forcing defense coordinators in a bad situation. Hey, Williams is killing you, or Jameson Williams. I got to remember there's 2 Williams at receiver now for the Lions. Laporta, all these other guys. I did your idea about maybe putting St. Brown in the backfield like they did a little bit his rookie year and then motion him out. That would force some difference, some changes in the defensive coverage, especially its zone. So we'll, I guess, have to wait and see whatever Ben Johnson Scooby-Doo's there. Now, one of the other subtopics for today's video was the rookie class. I offered my report card on them. What are your thoughts? And I get it's incredibly early. It's week 1, but we've seen rookie OTAs. We've seen the preseason, and now we're dipping into the regular season. What are your thoughts on the rookie class thus far?
Wingo played really good. As we predicted, I think, early in the season. He got some meaningful snaps. Terrion Arnold, I was not mad at all. I mean, you give a rookie a guy to go up a top 10 wide receiver in the league, and you know what? He's going to get his. Those 2 penalties I can live with by all day. One I thought was uncatchable, but whatever. The NFL thought they were hands fighting, and usually the veteran's going to get the thing. Terrion just turns his head a little bit, and I think he makes a couple of those knockdown plays. Extra even had a snap in there. I think when Arnold went down, kind of played coverage really good. I would give Terrion, like a B plus. I mean, he didn't play bad at all. I mean, there was a couple times he made some great open field tackles. He, was smart about some things. I think our rookie class is going to surprise a lot of people, and I think a lot of people are already surprised about him. They're like, they already look improved. A couple things to fix, couple chemistry things, coverage wise, but it's hard, man. When Stafford's throwing the ball 1.3, 1.5 seconds, it's hard to grade anything, you know. And, you know, I know people were mad that Hutchinson was in the backfield a lot but didn't get a lot of sacks, but you're not going to sack a guy that's throwing the ball in a second, 2 seconds, you know. I mean, if that's any other quarterback, Hutchinson probably leads that game with 7-8 sacks. I mean, he was in the backfield, I think what they say 13, 14 times.
Yeah.
It's crazy, you know. So I'm not taking anything out of that last game. They came in with a game plan. They knew what they were doing. And
and I think Hutchinson's win rate was like near 50%, you know, and that many snaps. I mean, that's pretty impressive, you know. So I thought he did well, but again, like you alluded to, the Rams knew their line was shot, so they had to do something to put them in favorable positions, and they did that. So kudos to them. All right, so let's talk about the Bucs real quick here. We got a matchup here. They're coming in here, second straight week. We're going to have a team who's a playoff caliber team from the year prior. What do you think the Lions have to do to ultimately put this game in their advantage and get the win?
I think they'll probably pound the rock, kind of beat down that D-line. I know their D-line's pretty stout. Their linebacking core is pretty stout. And then, you know, you just got to take your receiving yards where they are. You know, to me, I would like to see a little more Montgomery early, beat down that D-line, and then sub in the Gibbs package and let him kind of bust those. You know, I was just kind of talking about it. I was like, Gibbs is one of those guys you bring in when Monty's beating that D-line up, because then that's going to allow Gibbs to bust these 20, 30, 40, 50-yard runs. But the big thing to me is, you know, how are we going to play Mike Evans? He killed us last year. Obviously, everyone knows Cam Sutton was our DB. So I think Carlton Davis, and my big thing is Carlton Davis guarded that man for 5, 6, 7, 8 years in Tampa Bay. So he kind of knows his in and outs. Dan even alluded to it in his press conference the other day. He's like, hey, we're going to go to Carlton Davis for some tidbits. So I think that kind of helps. But yeah, I think we just need to pound the ball. I know last year it was one of those grind games. And we ended up busting it open there at the end when St. Brown had the catch, and then J-Mo caught the one towards the fourth quarter or third quarter, whatever. And we ended up beating them. And then obviously the playoff game was we were blowing them out, and then they started getting some, you know, plays. But yeah, I just think we just got to run the rock, commit to it a little more, and then take our shots when it is. You know, I think Jameson Williams is going to be far ahead of what he was last year. Obviously, already is. So I think the Bucs are going to have to figure that out, especially with Antoine Winfield being out. That's a huge coverage piece for them. So, but I think we win. I'm going to say 27-17. I think we win by 10. So.
Okay, I'll go with that for sure, man. The Bucs offense appears, and again, it's week one. It's against the Commanders, all that stuff. But at least week one, Baker looked pretty comfortable. The offense really seemed, you know, pretty stout. They could move the ball through the air pretty effectively. I don't know about their run game, but I guess we'll see how it does against Detroit. Although Kyle Pico is going to be up on the line, same with DJ Reader to at least some extent. So I'm going to guess they're going to do okay. All right, if you had to give a score prediction for this weekend's game, and go ahead and say it again. I think you just said it a moment ago.
27-10 Lions. I think we win it. I'm going to go 27-10, but I wouldn't be surprised either way if Lions break out and score like 34-35 this game.
Okay, fair enough. All right, why don't you go ahead and give everybody a shout out, tell them all where to find you, all that kind of stuff, and where they can check out all your content.
Hutch Jr. Obviously, you can check me mostly on Twitter. Post clips daily on there of the show and things like that. You can catch me on Instagram as well. Catch My Vibe Radio. We have our own show. It's just a website, catchmyviberadio.com. And then obviously you can catch me on here when Dan gets the crew together and we start talking ball. So I appreciate you guys. You guys are amazing, man. Keep doing what you guys are doing. Me, Dan, and everyone else part of the Do crew, we appreciate you guys. So.
All right, he is Hutch Jr. Go ahead and check out his content. I want to thank you, Mike, for coming on today. We'll see you the next time you hop on board.
All right, thank you, Dan.
All right, we'll see you now.
Yep, see you.
All right, let's go ahead and get back over to the Do crew. Let's see, Hatman, 206 watch, only 65 likes. Come on, family, come on now. Yeah, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Dimitri, good morning, Dan, the Lions fam. What did I miss? You're going to have to hit the rewind for me to catch you all up. But, hey, just some injury notes from the Detroit Lions, some of our guys, and then the rookie report card. But go ahead and hit rewind, man, and, hey, have a good morning. Kurt, Dr. Detroit, yes, sir, exclamation point. That's my mug says. Let's see, Rebel symbol on the side and lightsaber on the handle. I like what you're doing there. See, Dimitri, Kurt Steele, Flintstone, what up, though? Kurt Steele, Man of Steel. Stuart, what up, though, Flintstone? Let's see. Steele, Hutch Jr. He was in the house. Good morning, Hutch Jr., says Anthony. Let's see. Hookadoo. Good morning, Hutch Jr. Moonscar. I'm drinking coffee from my cup just west of Disney from a more out of this world little place called Kennedy Space Center. A way better experience than Disney World. Go if you haven't. I will do just that. See, Moonscar cup looks like a rocket booster. Ooh. Mike the Marine Gunny, hit that thumbs up for do it for the crew. Yes, and thank you for that. Anthony, I'm wondering what they're going to do with Houston. He barely made the roster. We're going to have to wait and see. But yeah, if Davenport doesn't go this weekend, I do wonder if he gets in. See, Silver Surfer, hello, coach and everyone. Back at you, my friend. See, Moonscar, I think he's still rehabbing, and they are giving him time to see if he can work his way back to what he was. Then trade him around the deadline for a low-level pick. It could be. Yeah, the ankle isn't where it needs to be. That's totally a possibility. I'd see Kurt Steele, Moonscar Blade. I've been down there in the Cape Canaveral area for some cruises. There you go. I hear it's a great place for cruises. See, Southwest Lion will never understand this game that the Lions appear to play with Houston, even if he's a one-trick pony. But one thing he does well is pressure, sack the quarterback. He does, man. I don't get it either. But then again, Davenport looked pretty dang good week one. So Davenport probably does play the run defense a little bit better, which I think is, just me guessing, that's the only thing really hurting James Houston. All right, Southwest, the Rams doubled St. Brown, and the Lions had their full complement of receivers. Why didn't the Lions double Cup when they were missing Nakua? The only person who can answer that is AG. I just think AG didn't want to go that route, and maybe he should have, maybe he shouldn't have. I can't really answer why. The only one who can would be Aaron Glenn. All right, see, Moonscar, Kurt Steele got that booked next summer into the Bahamas. We'll go enjoy it, my friend. The Trim Reaper, proud of my Lions. Woo! And hey, good morning to you too. Let's see, Trim Reaper, good morning, coach and crew. Same to you, Derek. Starting the year off with two teams we met in the playoffs is tough. Yeah, that's a tough way to start the year. So you look at our schedule, there's no real soft spots. Lions, hey, they're going to be sharpened. We always say iron sharpens iron or whatever. You grab a piece of coal, you put pressure on it. It goes one of two ways. It turns to dust or it turns into a diamond. So I think personally, this strong schedule this year is going to turn this team into diamonds. And the teams are going to find out taking care of St. Brown and Laporta isn't going to be enough. JMO's in their level they haven't seen from last year. Yeah, and it opens up other guys. So I agree with you, Anthony. The Trim Reaper, smash that like button, everyone, and have a great day, everyone. Back at you. Hopefully it's an outstanding day. Bo, thanks, Hutch Jr. Lions Super Bowl 2024. One pride. Lions 28-10. Hutch with 2 sacks. Brian Branch with 1 pick. I would accept that 100%. Bo 27-17 sounds good to you. I agree. That sounds good to me as well. Kurt Steele, Moonscar Blade. I have 1 booked for December and 1 for January. Well, enjoy your cruises, my friend. See, Frank, what up, though, Duke Crew? Woo, woo, woo. Go Lions. See, the Trim Reaper. Have a great day, everyone. Same to you. Jason, Dan's update score prediction. You'll have to wait till tomorrow to get it, my friend. Jameer, what do you got? Good morning, America. All right. Let's see. New here. My first comment is we have MCDC, Motor City, Dan Campbell, and Aaron Glenn. Let's see. But who can say they have Glenn Campbell? That's True Grit and True Grit. It's one of his songs. Woo! That I didn't know, and yeah, I'll have to check that on out. Thank you for bringing that up. See, John, Lions will win. The score will be, wait and see tomorrow. You have to see that. Bo Legatron kicks a 55+. He could, man. Maybe a 75+. I'd say the Trim Reaper, poor Pat Stafford. Yeah, well, he'll get over it, man. We might see them in the playoffs. We'll see. See, Motown Mitch. Let's see. AG coaching back in the day. Reggie White, get out of there. Cover Jerry Rice. If you can't, you're a one-trick pony, and you're not needed here. Yeesh. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what to make of it. It is what it is, but, maybe this weekend, if Davenport can't go, maybe this is James Houston's opportunity. Brian, space is fake. 3 different speeds at some time by the Earth is impossible. The stars been the same for thousands of years, but not forever. The Earth is flat. YouTube, Eric Dubé. All right, fair enough. Well, we'll see. I'll see. Hookadoo, I'm glad Stafford's gone. Look at the draft picks we got. That's true. We did get a lot of good talent in return for him. So that's very, very true. Bo, soft spots we have this year might be our own division. We'll see, man. I think it's gonna be a dogfight throughout the NFC North. But maybe you're right. Maybe we'll get a couple of them laid down for us. See, Harold, praise from the enemy says it all for our Lions. Woo! Yeah, and there have been a few, like Cooper Kupp. He gave Terrion Arnold a lot of good compliments for how he performed. And, hey, for a future Hall of Famer to say that about your rookie corner, I think that speaks volumes. See, Lions Super Bowl, Bates kicked a halftime kick from 68 and good. That's nice, man. Yeah, the dude's got a leg without questions. Let's see, Coach Rock, Kurt Steele, I love cruising out of Port Canaveral. Let us know if you go on Canaveral, we would could get the Lions cruise going. Now, that'd be something. Maybe get a Do Crew cruise. Let's see, man, the best part of waking up is Lions Talk Live and woo, coffee in. There you go. Let's see, the Trim Reaper, bring the Bucks and Baker. Lions will butcher. I like the way you're thinking. Derek, I was thinking the same thing, Rock. It would be fun. It would be fun, man. Hatman, my cup. Yeah, in your cup. There you go. Dale, great show, Dan. Thanks for that. All right, guys, we'll go ahead and wrap it up and get on out of here. If there is some sort of breaking news today, we'll get it over to you as quick as possible. If you would be so kind, hit that subscribe button. As you guys know, we're doing a fundraiser all week from last Saturday until the end of the Lions-Bucks game. Each new subscriber we get will donate $1 to charity. So if you guys can help out, we're 100 and whatever it is, 15 away from 8,000, trying to get there before kickoff if possible. Hit the like button or whatever, the thumbs up button. Helps the channel out a lot. Other than that, go have a good day. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. Be good to other people. We'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.
Happy trails to you until